Mr. Vishal Dupa. Welcome to the Interspecies Movement at Atria. Thank you so much for being a part.
Thank you, Jatin.
Welcome. We are thrilled to have you here, sir, today. Sir, I have got to say, it's pretty amazing getting the chance to chat with the guy who runs a show for NVIDIA in South Asia. You've been in the tech game for over 3 decades, and it seems like you have done it all. Uh, from servers and graphics to design and data storage and to much more that I even can't imagine. Uh, could you share a bit about how the journey has been so far and how are you doing today?
Absolutely. And firstly, I think you've been extremely polite about the whole thing. Yes, in my over 3 years or 3 decades of experience, the technology has obviously got much enhanced. And the way I look at it, that I started working when the PC era was upon us. The promise of PC era was that it could take computing to the entire humanity. And that's why we look at computing as an instrument that humans use day in and day out because of the human centrality into it. Being human centric has basically moved the technology in such a way that makes it easy for us. Initially, it was about graphical user interface so that we could make it much more convenient at the command language. Mouse came into play, and that made it easier to deal with the computers. Now touch screens are in place, it makes it easier. The beauty right now is that you can interface with the computers in a human language. I can speak a bad grammar language, but the computer can understand me. And as a virtue of that, we have reached a stage where the productivity of not only our software engineers, but the productivity of every human with the computer can go multifold high. So for me, it's been a very exciting period of time.
Sir, with NVIDIA standing at the forefront of generative AI, it is exciting to think about how these technologies, these new frontier technologies, can be harnessed to make a real impact in the part of the world. Can you tell us more about how NVIDIA is shaping the technological landscape, especially in India, with these new frontier technologies?
So let's start with the mission of NVIDIA. NVIDIA has dedicated its entire life to discover hard problems that can have societal impact. And the way we solve that is through a computing architecture called accelerated computing, where we take the goodness of the general purpose compute and basically adjoin it with the power of a specialty computing. And that helps you to accelerate computing. You're able to solve larger problems at much lower cost. And that helps humanity because you're saving money and you're solving larger problems. You are actually at a stage when humanity, in combination with computing, is able to understand what goes behind the weather. Why is weather reacting like this? Why is climate changing? We're at a brink where we can discover new drugs to keep us more healthy. We're at a stage where we can discover more material which is lighter and stronger than what we have. And by the virtue of the computing being available at that scale, with the combination of what's happening in artificial intelligence, we believe that the next set of innovations, will take place. And every time innovations takes place, it actually breaks the status quo. And every time a status quo is broken, you become much more better in the way we live. So taking that cue from an Indian perspective, our country also faces many grand challenges, be it in education, be it in healthcare, be it in agriculture, maybe in mobile computing. With the coming of technology, many of these can be addressed. As let's take an example of education, for example. Our nation basically has a very large community of young children who possibly are at an age where they should be in the fifth grade, but they possibly do not even understand grade 2 mathematics, or for that matter of fact, many other subjects. With the power of augmenting intelligence to compute, you can help them to understand it. It's not only about text, it's about visual, it is about multimodal part of it. And the technology can help you augment that aspect of it. At times, it's also accessibility, it's also the cost which is associated with that. These can be dramatically brought down because digital can walk where physical can't reach at times. Of course, you require physical infrastructure to be in play for digital to work, but vice versa, digital can reach many more corners of it. So, what we've been doing as accelerated computing is helping to uncover many needs of the country. We really started working with the educational institutes, creating center of excellence, helping them to understand how to take very impactful societal challenges and see how technology can solve that. We've been working with research institutes which apply these technologies towards the production part of it. And slowly we have grown that where I think the enterprises are also looking at it, how they can actually start creating intelligence. Today's world is about creating intelligence, and intelligence is created out of AI factories, and that's our purpose.
So I believe that NVIDIA is playing a crucial role in using AI for conservation efforts. Can you share more about your thoughts on this intersection of technology and conservation?
Absolutely. And conservation comes in different forms. Today, at the backdrop of what we're talking about is about species. But there are some really important, profound challenges which are in front of us. And all of us are going through in the month of July, which we have never seen before. It's all got to do with climate. And understanding climate is not easy because every person, every set of society where you live, every country faces a different magnitude of the problem. And often, though we know that there are global issues that are making an impact, but the fact that you live in a particular environment, it becomes extremely difficult for you to fathom the entirety of the problem. So what NVIDIA is trying to do is to basically take steps that some of the hypotheses that scientists use as ground truths to understand the difficult problems, because of AI, you're trying to infuse a lot of neural networks, physics into them for differential equations so that you can basically now increase the size of simulations and you can understand it that much better. If you understand the problem in its completeness, there's a better opportunity for you to solve that. And many a times what happens is that unless you've had humanity feel it and see it, they also remain restrictive in the way they do, because gravitating everybody to the same cause is only when you can feel it, touch it, and do it. And technology really can help you get that feeling, not only for today, not only for tomorrow, but for a longer journey in an immediate impact, and that's what makes a big difference.
Looking at the long term vision of interspecies money movements in terms of assigning an economical value to ecosystem services and different species, do you think big companies could contribute to the transformative initiative through their technological advancement or CSR funds?
Right. So software is a technology of automation, and automation basically helps you to break away from everyday challenges and gives you a better way of solving those problems. At the end of the day, every technology is only useful if it is applied to resolve a need. And once the needs are resolved, you can have a happier moment of life. So obviously, what we suffer because of the climate change, dependency on species, our understanding of doing things is a web that all of us need to comprehend and, more importantly, protect it. And therefore, it's always a great initiative on people, individuals, societies, organizations to look at everything that we do from a wholesome perspective and make an impact of it. and other species play an equally important part in that.
Sir, as we wrap up our conversation here, let me bring back to the philosophy of Atria University, which aims to foster inclusive and interdisciplinary STEM education. Given NVIDIA's pioneering role in developing new frontier technologies like AI, how important do you think it is to expose our young students in technologies such as AI and utilizing these technologies for the moments like in the Spacious Money moment?
Yeah, absolutely. So, as young minds actually have aptitude to see multiple things, the mind actually allows you to question many things. And like I've always used this analogy that many of us work hard and then they like to entertain. And many people who like to be entertained play games. When a young mind is playing games, it can have many attributes outside just entertainment. It could be a mind that is questioning why something like this is happening. As we basically immerse ourselves into the digital world, there is art there. Somebody could be getting fascinated with art, and the creativity part of the mind is just expanding on it. The other mind could say the why part of it, and the scientific mind is increasing on it. And when you have an intersection of art and science, you could actually have disciplines which are able to understand everything from a larger canvas part of it. So precisely from that angle too, doing these activities of liberal arts with the engineering background, applying the first principles of science, and yet your creative mind is not restricted, can open out the horizons of how the world works.
Sir, thank you so much for the time and the insightful answers that you have given us. I believe that we should speak more on the technology and how exactly education can be a part in framing this whole society. And thank you so much for being the part, and we enjoyed it really. Thank you so much.
Jatin, thank you for making this great.
Thank you.
Much appreciated.